hoofbeats, don't expect to see a zebra. Turns out I have stripes. Welcome back to Zebra Life 24/7, Episode 6, Communicating with Your Partner. Something that I don't feel gets talked about a whole lot is what it looks like to manage a health condition and effectively communicate between your significant other. This can be with any type of health issue. It just doesn't seem to be a topic of conversation. So, let's talk about it. In the beginning of the downward spiral of my health complications, I wasn't sure how to react or respond, partially because everything was so confusing and overwhelming. I went from shutting down about it and not really expressing anything that was happening to me, oversharing with my husband. It took time for us to get to a good place of understanding each other and the needs of one another. I've been with my husband for 19 years, and we have an extraordinary level of communication. But when something new gets thrown at you, you have to learn to communicate. You have to learn more ways of communicating, and it involves patience and understanding of each other. You have to communicate with your partner, otherwise you will damage the life you have built because you won't be able to progress in another chapter. When one of you gets sick, you both get sick. You need to figure out how that looks for the two of you and for your family and how you will communicate and move forward together. This past year and a half, 2 years, Bryce and I really found our routine of communication, which works great for us. I'm blessed beyond words to have someone as incredible as him. Truly, I am. I also get told this all the time. We are so lucky we have each other. And absolutely, you're not wrong, we are. But it's not all luck. We choose to put each other first and work on a relationship because we love and respect each other. I knew that it was important for me to have Bryce understand what I was experiencing internally as much as possible. So I walk him through what I'm experiencing. I will literally say things like, at the moment, I can feel my hips sliding out of the socket and compressing on a nerve. My pelvis is caught in my spine and I need to move carefully to reposition it so it doesn't catch and cause pain or pinch a nerve. Then I will show him where I experience these things and the discomforts. I will draw out with my fingers on his back exactly what I'm experiencing. I have numbered my major joint subluxations 1 through 8 and will tell him, currently 4, 7, and 8 are going out. I need to go heat up and rest so I don't inflame them. If I'm completely broken, I will ask him to go get such and such for me, and no longer do I have to feel guilty, for the most part, about asking him for help with those certain things. He knows what I need and will graciously go make it happen. He doesn't want to see me in pain ever and wants to help. I'm learning that it's okay to really need him. I had to let go of my stubbornness and independence and accept the fact that I am blessed beyond belief to have a husband who doesn't hold my disorders against me. I also want to do everything I can to ensure that he knows I will never use my disorder as an excuse for not being able to do things. I will do what I can around the house as much as I can. Sometimes I'm still too stubborn to listen to my own body, but Bryce is in tune with my needs. He'll say, Holly, I can see the pain in your face right now. You need to stop and rest. It's okay. In the beginning, because I was trying so hard to understand everything, I needed to remember that he too needs a break from my disorder. It's incredibly taxing on the significant other. All of a sudden, Bryce had to step up his already A game and somehow do even more than he already does. At night, if he just wants to relax from work, the children and my struggles, I needed to let him. I couldn't bombard him with all my research and findings, which is my natural way of working through things. In the beginning, I found myself feeling secretly irritated that he wasn't paying full attention to my feelings and what I wanted to tell him. But that wasn't fair to him. He was doing what he needed, and I needed to realize that he needed something from me too. He needed to be able to reset and zone out from life's daily struggles. It is my job to also pay attention to the needs of him, and I wasn't doing a great job of that in the beginning. And honestly, that's okay. Navigating the unknown is scary and complex, but not giving up and learning how to adjust to new realities is what we had to do. I had to learn how to communicate what's important in the moment, learn to recognize his mental energy levels and capacity for more holliness, accept that there are things that no matter how hard I want to have him understand, he can't because he isn't me and isn't living in this crazy body. Whenever I really need him to know something, I make sure that I choose my timing wisely. Just because I'm ready to share something in that moment doesn't mean that he has the capacity to listen. Instead, I will say something like, I have so-and-so I want to share. Do you think I can get 10 minutes of your time tomorrow after work to share this with you? Sometimes he'll say, you can just tell me now. Other times he'll say, yeah, that will work best. Thanks for understanding, babe. In that moment, maybe he's playing video games. That doesn't mean those video games are more important than what I have to share. It means that he is human and needs a mental rest as well. You may think, if it's only 10 minutes, you should be able to share that right then and there. Maybe. For you and your significant other, this works. For us, it works best to really pay attention to the mental needs of each other. For him, knowing that I recognize his need to relax, that goes a long way. It allows him to know that I'm also paying attention to him through all of this craziness and that I recognize his needs. I've witnessed some other couples who are really struggling to find peace with coping mechanisms who are in similar situations as I am. I remember watching someone who was suffering from an invisible illness who was just ready to leave someplace, but their partner was not in tune with their needs. This caused irritation and a lot of frustration with that person. They were annoyed that their significant other didn't care about their needs. Personally, I think it stems from the lack of properly communicating with each other. It's hard, but you both have to become open about what you are experiencing because of the diagnosis. If the one person is in pain and gets annoyed that the other doesn't care, chances are this isn't the case. They just haven't learned how to communicate and understand each other's needs and limitations. I was able to look at Bryce, and with just a look, he said, he saw that I had reached my pain limit and we needed to leave. Instantly, he started rounding up the kiddos and we said our goodbyes. He never once made me feel bad for not being able to push through. He knew that I had done everything in my power to push through as much as possible, and once I reached my max point, he knows it's time to be done. It's this beautiful ebb and flow of unspoken communication that we have because we spent the past year and a half verbally communicating our needs. I can't express how important this is. So when people say to me, you're so lucky that you have him and that he just gets it. Yes, first and foremost, I am the luckiest girl in the world. Secondly, we aren't just magically perfect. We choose to be perfectly in sync because we want that for each other and for our lives. We always choose each other, and we do that through open, clear communication. In my opinion, that's the only way.
What's a soulmate?
It's like a best friend, but more. It's the one person in the world who knows you better than anyone else. It's someone who makes you a better person.
That's all I have for you today. Stay tuned for weekly episodes of Zebra Life 24/7, airing at 3:30 p.m. every Saturday. Please click the subscribe button below, and remember, perception is your reality.